So today's goal is to convert this 428 with dual pipes on the left to quad tips from AWE. First thing we're going to need to do, and one of the main reasons I'm making this video, is cut the bumper, because obviously on the right hand side there's no space for cutouts, so I have to make a symmetrical cutout to make this make room for the quad pipes. So the good thing about AWE is they give you this 3D printed template that is specific to this car. So it actually screws right onto existing screws underneath the bumper there, and then it gives you the exact horizontal cutting location and vertical to make the cut, so it's symmetrical with the other side stock cut. So the first thing I'm going to do is tape that on there and attach it to the screws and get started. So let's get that started. So first I'm going to do a cold start. We're about 1 foot from the left stock exhaust pipe on a 428 N20 engine. That's comfort mode, you know, because you can see the smoke coming out of only one pipe here. Other pipe, nothing's coming out. It's going to rev to 2,000 RPMs and then a rev to 4,000 RPMs. That's pretty weak, so we're here to fix that. By the way, I guess before I cut the muffler off, I'll show you something else. The jacking point on this car for the rear, when you want to pull both wheels off the ground, let's take a look. Get this detached from the tripod. Is right behind the differential. You can see where you need to go. It's right on the frame, so you want to get right in the middle of the frame there. So removing these two screws to put the template on. So it's here and here. Two different size screws. This guy's a little bigger. And this is one of the parts I was most nervous about. This is something you definitely don't want to try. You have the exact place marked, and that's what this just makes me feel confident about. Now you can see, you can't screw that up, so I'm going to tape this on there so it's not flapping. You know what, maybe I won't tape it, I'll just mark it. So, I'm going to take a Sharpie and just mark the line. Nice clean mark. So I'll list this on eBay when I'm done, because I won't have any use for it again. There we go. Perfect mark. Now you're going to want to be really careful with your Dremel. As you skip out over here and skip when you're cutting. Definitely don't want to do that. So take it nice and slow. Start from the bottom and go from there. So there's the piece. Now it just needs to be deburred and sanded down a little bit to get rid of some of that extra gunk, but like I said before, you always need to cut on the inside of the line, so when you're done you have some area to sand to make it perfect. I need to return them. So let's take a look at these instructions. So AWE, they have great instructions. Everything is nicely labeled. You can see even apparent things, stuff you probably wouldn't need to be labeled. Where's that piece I'm looking for? It's all nice and labeled with these yellow stickers they refer to in the instructions. Good stuff. So I'm not doing a mid pipe. So it says locate the dimple in the factory exhausted arrow 2. Let's go find it. Car is safely jacked up with jack stands on the sides, on the side jack points, and we're jacked up from the middle frame, right behind the differential. So let's see if we find this dimple. Well, I don't see any dimples. Well, I couldn't find the dimple they were talking about and to mark the cut point on the pipe, so I decided to take the grinder out and grind off some of the rust that's under there so I can find it, because you don't want to take a chance on the location of that. So I couldn't find the dimple on the instructions they were referring to, so I decided to use a grinder with a wire brush, take off some of the rust so I can find that dimple, because definitely don't want to make the cut in the wrong spot. Definitely wear eye protection and gloves when you're using the grinder, especially with a wire brush. That thing is deadly. Probably could have just used some steel wool, but I'm a little lazy right now. Let's see if we can see the dimple now. Well, now it's clearly visible. That's good. So I'm going to take my Sharpie and make a little mark where the dimple is so I can cut it. Definitely want to wear ears and eyes for this one. Well, there's the tuba, I mean stock exhaust. It's huge. So now we can get on to installing this. I'm just going to go in and deburr where I cut before and then go from there. Now that we've got the two clamps on here, we're just going to put it on the assembly here. So you can see now the resonator is tied to the rest of the exhaust piping by one clamp right here. Pretty straightforward. I'm gonna get a deep 15mm. Bolt's kind of long. I'll make it tight, but not too tight, because I'll be adjusting that later. Alright. So as you see here, you're going to want to reuse your factory muffler brackets, so don't cut them off, the old ones, since they're just going to slip onto these pins, which we'll use to mount right back on. Doing bolt, lock washer, flat washer, bolt. Loosen up this guy. Right there. Main lock washer, flat washer, and our bolt or nut. Well, pretty much the rest of it snapped together just like the instructions said. I ran low on battery, so I had to cut the video short, but pretty simple stuff. It's all clamping. Clamp goes to A, B, C, that kind of stuff, all the instructions. The only one area where I got a little confused was the exit pipe in the back after the mid pipe, the exhaust pipe from the stock exhaust system is like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 millimeters smaller than the actual connection to the back of the new muffler. So you just have to take that into account when you're putting the clamping collar there. Otherwise you'll be cursing a little bit trying to figure out why one side is a little smaller, and you'll see what I mean when you're in the job. But going into it, if you know, it would take 2 seconds. But anyways, let's do the same sound test we did with the stock exhaust now that we have the new system in. That was a cold start. It's starting to settle down now. Got some condensation in there. And you can see now that it's settled down, it's not that loud. When it first starts cold, it's pretty damn loud, not gonna lie. But now let's do the same rev testing we did with the stock exhaust earlier. I haven't gone out driving yet, but I'll tell you what, just by the sounds of that, pretty sure this thing is going to sound badass. But gonna have to go out for a test drive and see. I almost forgot. Thanks for the blow pop, AWE. Now that I'm done, I'm gonna eat it.